we're gonna sell a quarter for $149. Okay. Now, what it happens to be, it is a quarter technically, but it is from the National Park Series. It is made by the United States government. 99 fine silver, 5 ounces of pure silver. 5 ounces of pure silver, the largest silver coin. This is not, we have silver bars, right, but this is the largest silver coin ever made by the United States government. They've been doing them for the America the Beautiful National Park Series that they've done, and they've done them since they did a quarter. They did it in solid silver that you're gonna have. Now, I brought in a little over 300 of these. We have sold 113 so far. Now, here's the issue. 5 ounces of pure silver. Understand the melt value on this would have been almost double this not that long ago, okay? I've got 199 remaining. Here's the issue. I was able to get these. It's the last of these coins from last year. So they're coins. They're limited edition. There's a sold-out limited edition from the United States government. This is the final, absolute final quantity that I will have at $149. I priced them today. I committed to these quite some time ago. I priced these out today. For me to bring these back, I'm going to have to be about $199. Some of these 5-ounce American coins sell for as much as $1,000, the Hawaii 5-ounce coin. But as you can see, I'm selling it for virtually the bullion price. Look at the size of this. It is over a quarter pound of pure silver to commemorate Saratoga, where the British surrendered in the American Revolution 1777, that you're going to see right there. Isn't that 999 fine pure silver, 5.0 ounces that you're going to see there. I wish I could get thousands or at least hundreds or at least 24 more of these, but at this price, this is absolutely the final quantity that I had. Like I said, I had 312, and that's an important number because that means I don't have 313. One of the things in coins is, see, understand, I don't have wait list. I don't have any of that stuff. I make available for sale every single solitary coin that we have got that we can offer to you. You may, certainly.
This so,
yeah, well, pick them up because it is so immense. I mean, look at it. It's over a quarter pound of pure silver.
Heavy, you cannot believe it. I've never seen anything like it. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, this thing is awesome. And literally, it's a handful. When I say it's a handful, it is a handful. But look at the thickness of it. When you feel the weight, the heft of this, incredible. This is 3 flex payments you're looking at right here of $49.98. Who else gives you flex payments when you buy a coin? Is there any other place, Mike, that you can actually walk into, I don't know, a coin shop, whatever.
Buy silver and flex pay?
Right, and say, oh, can I just give you a little bit now, a little bit next month, a little bit, yeah, no.
Oh, and I want to take the coin with me.
Good luck. I'm going to take the coin.
Good luck with that.
This thing.
So I wanted to show you this right here. This is something that we're coming up with. This one of the proof sets. This is a regular quarter. Okay, there we go. This is a regular quarter. Now this isn't even silver. This coin sells for about 12 or 13 bucks. This is solid silver. It's an actual coin. It's an actual 5-ounce, over a quarter of a pound of silver. And look at that coin, and it's stamped by the United States government. Yeah, right there, 999 fine. Silver, 5 ounces. They specifically made this to sell as a silver coin. It has become so phenomenally and incredibly popular that they sell out of every single solitary one of these. So I got my original allocation, which on this was unfortunately about 300 coins. And so because of that, all of a sudden now, okay, all of a sudden what I have to do is this is the only quantity that I can do at this price. So I have 146 left. I have almost that number of people on the phone. So what we're going to do is we're going to race the 3-minute clock versus the quantity that we have available. They're going to be brilliant uncirculated. They come in a, like I said, in a little, just a little plastic folder that you see right here that you're going to have. They're going to be gem brilliant uncirculated, but here's the key.
I want it on a medallion.
Yes, you're getting a very collectible coin.
I've never seen anything like this before. I certainly haven't.
At basically bullion pricing.
This is the coolest thing.
Look at that. At basically the price price of the silver,
Wow.
5 ounces of pure silver. So if silver's $50, and it was $50 not that long ago, the melt value on this is $250.
Don't
so
melt
the
it.
intrinsic value
It's too
of this.
beautiful.
Yes, they're stunning, aren't
This
they?
is the coolest thing. But just to appreciate the size, I think that's what's going to blow you away when you get it home. Because at first, you know, I was kind of looking at it from this angle, you know, a little bit above, and I thought, yeah, and then you actually just look at it and you go, oh my gosh, that is massive. But it's the weight, solid
Well, and I just had a
silver.
question. No, it's not plated. It's not clad.
No.
That is actual pure.
Look
It's basically,
at
look
that.
at it as a 5-ounce silver bar. Okay? But it happens to be round, and it happens to be a coin. So it will always have, when we talked earlier, you called me a numismatist, so it will always have numismatic or collectible coin value. So for instance, if you look at the 2011 Hawaii volcano, okay?
Right.
That one has the same amount of silver as this, but that coin sells for $1,000 or $1,100. Okay, now here's the fact of the matter. There's a minute 20 on that clock. You do not have a minute 20. I suspect you have the better part of about 30 seconds or so.
Handful of
These are
silver.
flying out of here now.
Wow.
Over 200. You can see what are left. I have twice that many people on the phone, unfortunately. Yeah, look at this.
Amazing.
And once again, 999 fine silver. Whoops. Hold on, I'll put it up.
This is one of my all-time favorites, and
Isn't
we've
it
worked
great?
together for years. I've never seen anything
Yeah.
like this. This is so darn cool. Where do you get this home? This is
Yep.
just so unique.
Yep.
And you know, you're going to be one of what, about 300 people who have this?